Let's sing to get in the Shabbat space and spirit. Yanai nanai nai yanai 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 nanai nai yanai nai 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 yanai nai nai yanai nai nai yanai nai nai yanai nai 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 yanai nai yanai nai nai yanai nai nai yanai nai nai yanai 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 nai nai yanai nai nai yanai nai nai yanai 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 nai yanai 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 nanai nai yanai nanai Kiva moed Kiva moed Kiva moed Kiva moed Yai dai dai yanai nanai nai yanai nanai nai Yanai nanai nai yanai 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 nanai nai yanai nanai nai yanai nanai nai yanai 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 nanai nai yanai 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 nanai nai yanai nai. Our time has come. Our time has come. Our time has come. Our time has come. Our time has come to welcome Shabbat. And this Shabbat we are calling Shabbat of Bread and Torah in honor of Rabbi Pamela Gottfried, who's been serving CBH and the wider Jewish community of Atlanta for these past couple of years with passion and with wisdom and with bread and with Torah. So we looked a little bit into the Torah portion and we found that this Torah portion has both bread and Torah into it, both things that sustain us. I won't say too much about it except to say that this is the sustenance, Rabbi G, that you've given our community, and we're going to celebrate both elements tonight in this service. We're going to celebrate Shabbat and we're going to celebrate Rabbi G. So I am thrilled to invite Mariana Kaufman to light the Shabbos candles and bless them, and the blessing is found on page 3.
And also my wife, Diana Aliman.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Oops, didn't quite take on that one.
Keep the light.
Yes.
We need that light.
I first got to know Rabbi G personally during the 3rd month of the pandemic. We all felt so isolated. Thanks to her, about 15 of us readers held a brief Zoom program on the anniversary of the Nazi book burnings, May 8th through 10th, 1933. We called it Reclaiming Our Rights as Readers. And after a brief history about what happened during the book burnings, each person spoke a sentence or two about one book each had been reading during the isolation. Since then, have participated in Rabbi G's column-making Zoom class, in her adult B'nai Mitzvah class, along with 12 others of us, in her weekly Lunch and Learn Torah study sessions, and in Susan Levy and Rabbi G's Shabbat morning services. I've also attended Zoom bar and bat mitzvahs with CBH students, listening to the incredible Devarim they and she have created, and to funerals and shivas, which Rabbi G conducted. Lastly, with Rabbi G, I participated in her YJB book group with B'nai Mitzvah candidates and their families. Books at the beginning, books at the end. What better way to pass the time than have a book in hand? On the occasion of candlelighting, let me say for all of us, thank you, Rabbi G, for enlightening us with what lines and words of Torah on so many occasions, and for encouraging so many of us to give off our own tiny sparks of light during these dark times. And now Julie Fishman is going to sing Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShabbat, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boahem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Rabbi G, thank you for being a speaker at an immigrants' rights rally at Plaza Fiesta when we huddled in a thunderstorm. May our Tikkun Olam paths continue to intersect, beginning with reverse Tashlich on September the 12th. This is a call and response. Light is sown for the righteous. Light is sown for the righteous. And joy for the upright in heart. And joy on the upright in heart. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Oh, yeah. I'm still here.
So we will welcome the Shabbos bride with Lechado D, beginning on page 41, and we're doing the first verse on the next two pages, and then the last verse. Lechado D likrat kala, come beloved, let us welcome the Shabbos bride. Lechado D likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, O Lechado D likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu El hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmahu echad, L'shem l'tiferet, V'litila,
Ol echad dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Ol echad dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machashvati la.
Olecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Olecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kvod Adonai alayich nigla.
Olecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Olecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin usmo tifrotzi Viet Adonai taritzi Al yaharish ben partzi Benismecha benagila.
Olecha dodi nikabela, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Olecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'tzohala, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, olecha dodi.
Likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Olecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Wow. Let's turn to page 49. So sometimes you have to take a moment and pause to begin to notice what's actually there for you. So I think it's not an accident that Psalm 92, the psalm for the Shabbos day, begins with the words Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It's good to give thanks to God, because that's what we get a chance to do when we slow down. We get to actually notice the blessings in our lives. So I'm going to lead us in singing Tov lehodot l'Adonai and invite you to maybe drop in the chat something that you're feeling grateful for at this moment. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, lehagid baboker chasdecha, lehagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatecha baleilot, ve'emunatecha baleilot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It's good to give thanks for a partner, for the ability to pray with CBH, for this amazing community. Thank you, CBH, for the aroma of challah filling the house right now, made with Rabbi G's recipe and braiding technique, for a friend's successful surgery, for family and dogs, for friends and family and old and new friends, for a partner, for taking the time, giving oneself the time to be here, for family, for fellowship, for Rabbi G and all she's given us, the time that Rabbi G has spent with us, time with people I love, for everything, for science, however difficult, boy, and for Shabbat, and for Rabbi Dale, and for all of you, and for seeing your faces all the way from Vermont, awaiting a baby. Grateful for a birth family, most of them, friends and CBH family, family of choice, Rabbi G's wisdom, that hummingbird that keeps returning to the feeder outside my window through these services as though it's davening, for kids going back to school about time, for the beautiful memorial Rabbi Gottfried led for Allison's mother, and for the warmth and compassion she showed during a very difficult time, for trees, for learning to take a break from the work week and all that comes with it, for Rabbi G, a wonderful ally in our daughter's bat mitzvah, a great leader for CBH, delightful person to chat with, and for the wonderful wedding ceremony where Rabbi G officiated for Rebecca and Sherry, and for so much more. Oops, one more, for the warmth and love in this community. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It's good to give thanks to God. We now transition to Ma'ariv, the evening service, with Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba bi'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malachute b'chayeichon u'v'yomeichon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam yolmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bialma v'imeru. Amen. We call one another to constitute a minyan, to be able to praise God. And I'm going to start the Baruch Hu, and then Susan Birch is going to lead the congregational response. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Se'elam Ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. I am happy to call upon Sam Severson. I hope you're here. Yes, you are.
The poem is Teach Me by Leah Goldberg. Teach me, my God, to wonder and to marvel at the mystery of a withering leaf, at the luster of ripening fruit, at this freedom to see, to feel, to breathe, to know, to hope, to stumble. Teach my lips words of blessing and songs of praise, as again you offer me life with each morning and each night, lest my day today be as those that came before, lest my day today be merely ordinary.
Thank you, Sam. We sing Ahavat Olam, endless love. And just take a moment before we do to locate love. It could be a love that we feel for someone or something. It could be a love that has come our way. It could be the trees in Jan's beautiful background there. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadita Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu u'vekumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nehege yomam v'layla yomam v'layla v'yahavatcha al tasur mimenu le'olamim baruch ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Happy to call on Paul Marquardt and Tom Willis-Croft to lead us in Shema and V'ahavta.
Unmuted, there we go. All right, I guess, do we stand? Okay. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, ve'chol levavecha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadevarim ha'ele, asher Anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'nishalta levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtacha b'veitecha u'vechtecha b'derech u'shochtecha u'chumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha.
Thank you, Paul and Tom. We all need sometimes a little help in getting out of tight spaces. And our people was in the ultimate tight space in the constriction of slavery in Egypt. And we were brought forth from that narrow place into the wide open spaces of freedom. And we sing the song that they sang, Mi Chamocha, page 77. And we give thanks for any moments that we've been lucky enough to be brought forth from narrow places to wide open spaces. Moshe Miriam Uvnei Yisrael Lecha'anu Shira B'simcha Rabba V'yamru Chulam Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Nora Tehilot Osefel Nora Tehilot Osefel Malechutecha Ra'uvanecha Bokei Hayam Lifnei Moshe Ze'elianu Ve'ameru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed Yai-rai, rai-rai, rai-rai, yada-rai, rai-rai, rai. Yai-rai, rai-rai, rai-rai, yada-rai, rai-rai, rai. Yai-rai, rai-rai, rai-rai, yada-rai, rai-rai, rai. ונאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. Baruch Ata Adonai. Blessed are you, the guardian, Israel's redeeming power. Bill is going to lead us in the prayer Rosaleenu, praying that we should be really held in a shelter of peace.
Rosaleenu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu v'etzah tova milfanecha v'hoshienu. Rosaleenu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu v'etzah tova milfanecha v'hoshienu.
Our service is filled with words and melodies, but we also can connect sometimes best when all that is cleared away and we just have silence and the peace of our own hearts. So I invite us to take our time for our own silent Amidah. If you have a Siddur and you want to use the words, you may. You may also just use this time for the prayers that are written right in our hearts. יהיו לרצון אמרפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the prayers of our hearts and the meditations that we offer be acceptable to you, our God, our rock, and our Redeemer. So honored to call upon Joe Chansey to teach us Torah.
Thank you, Rabbi Dale. It's an honor for me to be able to give a devar this week. This week's Torah portion contains the sentence telling us that we do not live by bread alone. I would like to share a story from the Bible with you. This is from this week's Parsha from the book of Deuteronomy. Now, before I share the story with you, I do need to tell you something. For those of you who have studied the entire book of Deuteronomy, especially rabbis, you would be thinking that this story is not in the Bible, not in the Torah. But here it is. This one book is Deuteronomy. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but see, it really says Deuteronomy. However, on the next page, just to fill you in, it says the Kabbalistic Bible, Deuteronomy. So on this subject of how we do not live by bread alone, there is a story about a student of Rav Aharon Karlin. Once when the student was at the house of Rav Aharon, the teacher took an apple, blessed it, and ate it. The student looked at the teacher eating the apple, and the thought crossed his mind. Even the great sage is simply eating an apple. Rav Aharon felt the student's thoughts, then turned to him and said, "You know, I was thinking to myself, what is the difference between us? I ate an apple and you ate an apple. I bless and you bless. So what is the big difference? The difference is that I get up in the morning, look out the window, and see an apple tree. I get excited and say, 'How plentiful are your actions, creator of the universe. The earth is full of your creations.' And I do not leave this thought. I go deeper and think, what does the Bible mean when it says, like an apple in the trees of the forest? And I get so excited that I have a passionate longing to bless and thank the Creator for the tree and for the apples. And I say, blessed are you, Creator of the world, who created the fruit of the tree. And since we're not allowed to bless without a purpose or to say the name of the Creator in vain, I take the apple. But you," the teacher went on to the student, "you do this a little differently. You go out to the street, see the apple tree, and think to yourself, 'Oh, what a beautiful apple tree, and what beautiful apples.' And then you have a great desire to eat one. But since you are not a thief, you go to the store, buy yourself an apple, go home, and are ready to eat the apple. Still, you have awe for the Creator, and therefore you think to yourself, 'Can anything be eaten without a blessing? If I eat something today without a blessing and showing appreciation, tomorrow it may be taken away from me, and I won't be able to eat apples anymore.' Therefore, you say a blessing, and then you eat the apple." What is the conclusion of all this? It is true that I bless and eat the apple, and you also bless and eat the apple. But I eat the apple so that I can say a blessing, and you say a blessing so that you'll be able to eat the apple. So do we say the blessing because we are supposed to? Do we say the blessing so we can eat the food? Do we eat the food so that we can say the blessing? And another question that may be obvious to some people that I'm skipping is, do we say a blessing at all? When we say the blessing so that we can eat the food, that is a good thing because we are still blessing, thanking, and praising God. But when we eat the food, an apple, challah, matzah, or anything else, so that we can say the blessing, we bless the food as well as blessing God. Because when our intent is to put God first, the blessing overflows into the food from the inner light of God. And when we eat the food after having put God first, with the light within the food, becomes our inner light. Judaism has a blessing for just about everything, and specifically for most kinds of food. And there's the blessing for foods that do not fit into any of the ancient categories. So what do you do if you don't know a specific blessing? Well, in my opinion, we just improvise. Intent is more important than a prescribed formula. Something like, "Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of the universe, who has blessed us with delicious and nutritious food." That will do. If you live with other people, suggest to them that you eat an occasional meal in silence, eating your food slowly and consciously without distractions. Then end with a blessing so that you have eaten the meal so that you could bless God. If, like me, you live alone, eating in silence consciously and without distraction can be just as challenging as with other people. For me, it is easy to put my phone under a pillow in my bedroom and shut the door. I'm just not tied to my phone. But my 55-inch TV, which basically is an idol at times, is a different story for me. Eating lunch or dinner while watching the news is practically a tradition for me. And I'm always telling myself to slow down as I eat. And as I'm telling myself to slow down, I wonder why I'm eating so fast. I don't know if anyone has ever tried to rank blessings, but of all the blessings over food, I think the one over bread, over challah, is certainly one of the most popular. And while we cannot physically live by bread alone, we can live spiritually by eating bread so that we can bless God and receive the light that God wants to share with us and that we may share it with others. So, Rabbi G, if I may speak to you directly for a moment, while you have not been able to feed us with your challah, you have nourished us by sharing your recipe for challah. For as we all know, feed a person some challah, you feed them for a day. But teach them how to make challah, and you have fed them and blessed them for a lifetime. I see people waving at me, and I'm getting a little verklempt. I may have to do the Linda Richmond thing from Saturday Night Live and give you a topic to discuss amongst yourselves. Okay. Rabbi G, you have fed and nurtured us with your teaching, your kindness, in your thoughtfulness. As you continue your journey through life, may God continue to richly bless you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom and Yasher Koach, Joe. That was profound and inspiring Torah. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to call upon Elizabeth to offer a blessing for Rabbi G.
Finally. Okay, I was trying to unmute. So, Rabbi G, I just want to sort of echo what people have said to you, your warmth and compassion and love. It's very touching. And you've done so much as well to breathe new life into Torah and Judaism, into people who maybe didn't have the full taste of it, not just the metaphor, but the full taste of the riches of it. And it's my honor now, and not just those people you've ministered to, people commented about others you've touched. And it's my honor to bless you with a blessing from Kaddish di Rabbanan, which is, I know, goes straight to your heart. So this is a segment of it. Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Talmidei Hon v'al kol Talmidei Hon v'al kol man daskin boreta divatra hadayin v'divachol atar v'atar Yehi lehon ulechon Shloma Rabba China v'chista v'rachamin v'chayin arichin u'mezona revicha u'furkana min kadam avuchon divishmaya v'yimru Amen. Grant abundant peace to our people and their leaders, to our teachers and their students, and to all who engage in the study of Torah in this land and in all other lands. May you and they be blessed by our Creator in heaven, not just with great peace, grace and kindness, compassion, long life, and ample sustenance and deliverance. And we say, all of us, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I'm going to try to share the screen. I'm having a little trouble. So 1 second. Let's see.
Blessed are you, blessed are you, blessed are you who have entered here. May you be blessed, may you be blessed, go forth from this place. Blessed are you, blessed are you, who have entered. May you be blessed, may you be blessed, as you go forth from this place. Blessed are you, blessed are you, who have entered here. May you be blessed, may you be blessed, as you go forth from this place.
And that was, of course, a blessing for you, Rabbi G. Blessed may you be. And the congregation wanted to give you an apt gift, which, although you have it in your possession, Tom Downs, on behalf of the board, is going to present it.
Thank you. I first met Rabbi G. It was actually almost 3 years ago. We were sharing the booth at the Sojourn at Pride Festival, and we didn't have a lot of traffic, so we had a lot of time to talk. I think people were distracted by the guys in the gym shots across from us. But anyway, so I got to know her, and she got to be one of my teachers. And I'm forever grateful for what you have taught me. And one of the things that I'm really grateful is you turned me on to this book. And I think that you should get a commission for recommending this book, because I don't know how many people have got it, but I really thank you for that. And it makes me easily try to learn Torah on my own, because I can't even say half the words in there. And he really explains it in everyday English. Anyway, on behalf of the board and all of us at CBH, this is a gift that we are sending Rabbi G. And we thought it was fitting because she is known for kind of a nature thing. So it fits not only with her passion for challah baking, but also her commitment to environmentalism and saving the earth. And I don't know if there's a picture of it up there.
I think we're going to see the real object.
Okay. Okay, you got great. And it's a challah cover, and it has the 7 species of the land of Israel on it. And I believe it's on silk, and it's hand embroidered. So thank you for all you've done for me personally and for CBH. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know. I know I'm going to get to respond in a minute, but
This is actually your time.
So, but this is the preamble. It doesn't count for the 5 minutes. But I just, when I held it up a moment ago, when I was testing it to make sure that it would show on screen, I noticed, and I don't know how I missed this when I took it out of the bag. The artist who created it is Yair Emanuel. And so one of my favorite Israeli artists, and the talit, my Shabbat talis that I wear, is also in a Yair Emanuel. And so I don't know who chose it, but the universe seemed to conspire. It's perfect, and we're going to use it on our table, which is behind us. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to try to minimize myself because I have some words that I prepared. There we go. Okay. So first of all, Tom, thank you for those words, the ones on behalf of the board and the synagogue, and also the personal words. I remember that day in the booth very well. Thank you to the congregation for this beautiful gift. And thank you to everyone who contributed to the planning of and participated in this service. Elizabeth, your blessing left me speechless. So I'm especially grateful to Bill Witherspoon, who I believe was instrumental in arranging that I would speak last. So I had a few minutes to collect myself. Joe, I am so impressed by the way that you wove together the story and the humor and the Torah. And I know that you also incorporated the thoughts of other people into your words of Torah. So I want to say Yasher Koach, because you achieved the 3 goals of a great Devar Torah that you taught to me. Make them laugh, make them cry, make them feel holy. With your permission, I want to offer a few words of Torah of my own in response, and I promise I will not exceed the allotted 5 minutes. So as we've noted, and as Joe also noted, we're in the book of Deuteronomy, Sefer Devarim, and those of you who studied it with me will remember that I said it's largely comprised of Moses's farewell sermon to the people who are about to enter the land of Israel without him. Rabbi Dale and all of you who contributed to this evening's service, this farewell service, chose Deuteronomy 8:3 as a theme or a tagline. Ki lo al halechem levado yichya ha'adam. Man does not live by bread alone. I would like to direct our attention to the verses that follow, in which Moses reminds the people that God is bringing them into a good land, beginning with verse 7. Eretz Tovah, Eretz Nachale Mayim Ayanot U'Tehamot, a land with streams and springs and fountains. Eretz Chita U'Seorah, V'Gefen U'Te'ena V'Rimon, Eretz Zeit Shemen U'Dvash. That's the 7 species. A land of wheat and barley, of vines, figs, and pomegranates, a land of olive trees and honey. And Moses tells them, there, that land, you won't eat bread in scarcity. You won't lack anything. And then Moses concludes with these words in verse 10. Ve'achalta v'savata uve'rachta et Adonai Elohecha al ha'aretz ha'tova asher natan lach. You will eat and be satisfied and bless Adonai your God for the good land that God has given to you. Some of you may recognize this verse from Birkat HaMazon. It is in fact the rabbi's proof text for the recitation of the grace after meals. Now, I'm not Moses, so I'm not going to give a farewell sermon, and I'm not even a rabbi of the Talmud, so I'm not going to say what's the proper proof text or theme or tagline for this evening. But I am going to suggest that this verse, Deuteronomy 8:10, which we'll recite at the end of our meal this evening, is another excellent tagline for us in this very moment. CBH as a community is undergoing transition. The world, the global community is undergoing transition, and we, as human beings in our own individual lives, are arguably always in a stage of transition.
Henry.
We have all experienced scarcity and loss on some level during the past year and a half. We yearn to be fed and to be satisfied, to experience lives filled with blessing and spiritual sustenance. We are standing in this moment on the edge of a new world, and we are also leaning into a new season of return, with just 10 days until Elul, 40 days until Rosh Hashanah, 50 days until Yom Kippur. Then when we stand before God, imagining that the gates are closing and that the book of life is being sealed, what will help us embrace the abundance of joy that awaits us? We are almost ready in this moment to emerge from the wilderness and enter into the promised land. What do we need to take that step forward? I believe we need hope. We need the kind of reassurance that Moses gives to the people in 3 simple words: ve'achalta, v'savata, uve'rachta. You'll eat and you'll be satisfied and you will bless. As we reflect on the 2 years that we spent together, laughing and crying and seeking holiness and wholeness as a community, as we harvest our gratitude for what we have shared in the past, an abundance of food, friendship, and Torah, as I share these few words of my farewell sermon, I want to leave us all with the words of Moses to the people in Deuteronomy in the 10th verse. Ve'rachta et Adonai Elohecha. We will bless Adonai our God in gratitude for the abundance that we will share in the future. And after the table is cleared and Birkat Hamazon is recited, when I shake the last crumbs of challah from the tablecloth tonight, I will be savoring the memory of our time together and looking forward to the time when we will share bread and Torah again. Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher Koach, Rabbi G. That was such beautiful and inspiring Torah that just to hold on to. We will bless. Thank you so much. With our hearts so full, we take time to pray for fullness and wholeness for all who are experiencing brokenness or illness or suffering. We pray for healing of spirit and healing of body, refuah shlema, healing that brings wholeness. For these members of our community and dear ones of members of our community, for Richard Adler, Richard Cohen, Jenny Williams Cohen, Mario Eugene Hudson II, Lois Birch, Andrea Finn and Bev Corfin, Uli Sprick, Ellie Emmerich Hart, Jerry Falcon, Shai and Billy Nach, Cloud Baruch, Tesla Queen, Janice Blackman, Beth Ann Budicant, Nancy Davis, Megan Radant, Pilar Barclay, Grady Floyd Adair, Eyal Schechter, Dolly Wax, Esther Myers, Ellen Leary, Julio Quintana, Jacob Gutman, who got a new heart last week and came home from the hospital this week, Rana Crozy, Carrie Procco, David Kay, Sharon Miller, Nikki Russler, Ma'ayan Yehudit Bat Avraham V'Sarah, Nancy Kreisman, Tony Rossi, Harriet Gold, Meredith Rimalower, Heather Zeisker, Carol Robinson Shep, Chris Grasso.
Mi shebera avotenu kor hachayim leimotenu hu yevarech yirafeh et ha-cholim el na-refana
And then I'd like to call on Marcy Alt to offer announcements for the congregation. Got to unmute Marcy. You got to help her there, right?
I do. I have Nicholas with me. Hi, Nick. Hi. Shabbat Shalom, and welcome everybody to our virtual services. So all are invited to our offerings in the upcoming week. Mindful Moments continues every weekday at 8:45 a.m. 15-minute evening minyan continues Saturday through Thursday at 8 p.m. All are welcome to join. Next weekend services are Friday at 6:45 for Shabbat services as we celebrate our CBH high school graduates. August 14th, we have a chant retreat with Gayanne. So please register and find all the information in your bet mail or on our website. As a reminder, please support the newest album, Red Thread, from the CBH Chorus Band and Strings. You can purchase it on Bandcamp or a CD from the CBH website, and it's now streaming on Spotify. If you have not signed the CBH Brit Priut, you can now do so online. Visit the CBH webpage and fill out the form. You will be you'll digitally sign, and it's also armed with information to keep CBH safe as we move into the in-person services. Please, 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 thank you for doing that. As always, for a full view of our offerings, please visit the CBH calendar on our website, and you'll see all of our Zoom links to our programs can be found on the streaming services section of our website. Bookmark this page, and it'll be easily to be found. Shabbat Shalom. Back to you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Marcy. I get to add one more because it's rabbinic privilege. A week from Sunday, toward the beginning of Elul, on actually the first day of Rosh Chodesh Elul, I'm going to offer a workshop on blessings, abundant blessings, and we're going to learn the art of giving blessings to one another. We're also going to make blessings that will be included in the CBH Rosh Hashanah gift boxes. So you're going to get to create a blessing for another congregant. And this is open to everybody, age whatever and up. So check the calendar, and the web link will be there, and we'll give you information about what you need. So with that, I'm going to turn this back to Bill to lead us, remembering Einod. There is none other.
Einod, 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 Einod,
Yasher Koach, I'm happy to call upon Mariana Kaufman to lead us in reading the prayer for the end of hiding. You're still muted. There you go.
As LGBTQ Jews, we are aware of the loss of integrity we suffer due to the pressures of the larger society. We often feel forced into a dishonest presentation of ourselves, to ourselves and others. The LGBTQ individuals who feel they must pretend to be something they are not. The Jews who feel they must be alienated from their tradition and community to win larger acceptance. Both are victims of a theft of identity and integrity committed by the sexual, gender-identifying, or religious majority. Creator of the universe, we ask that our hiding draw to an end, that we no longer feel we have to pretend, to promise falsely, to renounce ourselves, and that our fullest creative expression as Jews and as lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, and queer people be among the blessings you bestow upon us. Amen.
Amen. We take time now to remember those who have passed away recently and those who have died at this time at years past whose yortzites are observed. I invite you to bring the names of those for whom you're saying Kaddish into our memory, into the chat, and we will hold all of them as we say Mourner's Kaddish and hallow their memories in God's name. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela u'le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'yalma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved. And we say v'nomar Amen. I want to offer a blessing as this part of our service is drawing toward conclusion. God, who invites us to be a partner in creation, who gives us the capacity to help you bring forth bread from the earth and to share Torah with our people. Bless Rabbi G that she might continue to rise like the challah, continue to be braided with all the richness and complexity of life, and continue to both nourish and be nourished. And may we all carry with us the nourishment she's given us, and may we continue to deepen in our study of Torah in her honor and to feed and nourish one another always. And we say v'nomar Amen. Bill's going to take us out of this part of the service.
Right, and it's just this part of the service because after this, from this point on, feel encouraged to go ahead and put your thoughts to Rabbi G into the chat. And we're going to have Oseh Shalom to finish the service part, and then we're going to have a virtual oneg. So hang around. We'll have a kiddush with Rebecca Green. And but anyway, so here we go. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, v'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, v'imru, Amen. Hey, ya da 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 da, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Now it's my pleasure to invite Rebecca Green to make Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzah banu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon, kinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reshit, ki hu yam techila, למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי אלינו קראת, ואותנו קידשת, לעבודתך, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Okay, this is what is known as the reveal. So anybody who has challah that you made or that you're proud of, let's see it in the screen. This is my first ever challah according to the wisdom of Reb Pamela. Look at all that beautiful challah. I just have to scroll through for a second. Yes. Clarence, did you make that? Oh my gosh. How many braids is that? 7. Cool. Really beautiful. Okay. So we were told by Rabbi G, Ve'achalta v'savata u'beirachta. So, but we're going to do the beirachta, the blessing part, and then get to taste the challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. I wish I could share it with all of you. How wonderful that we are all being nourished. And if you thought that that was all the blessings you're going to get, Rabbi G, you would be mistaken, because there are a few individuals who have asked to give brief blessings to you, and they represent the breadth of the constituencies that you've touched in your time here at CBH. So the first one knows who she is.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
You have to unmute, Lauren.
We brought our challah from Atlanta to New Jersey as a salute to you, Rabbi G. When I think about everything you've done for us, I think of that old nigun, Al Shlosha Divarim, Ha'olam Omed, Al HaTorah, on the Torah, Al HaAvodah, on prayer, and Al Gemilut Chasadim, on good deeds or Tikkun Olam. And when I think about my 18 years at CBH, I think about how great we have been on leg 2 and leg 3, Al HaAvodah on inspirational and creative prayer, and Al Gemilut Chasadim on Tikkun Olam. Everyone in the community does Tikkun Olam. And it was only when I started coming to your Torah class, I realized how much we have not done Al HaTorah, learning Torah, and in Jewish learning. And you created classes where you took us all at different levels of Jewish literacy, and you let us talk, and you drew lessons from what we said, and you did it so humorously and good-naturedly. You ignited interest in Jewish learning among a community of CBHers, the 40 or so of us who took courses under your auspices, igniting this type of enthusiasm, as you know, Only great teachers can inspire like this. So I want to thank you for everything you've done for us. And I hope once this transition is over, that we will start working again on that first leg, Al HaTorah. I think we have a lot of work to do. And if at some time down the road we might turn to you, I hope you might find it in your heart to inspire us again. Thank you.
Yasher Koach, do we have Jessica here? And Lucian? Okay, so we're going to move on to Susan Levy.
Okay. Are you going to speak?
Where is she? Oh, there she is.
Okay. I'm yielding a little bit of my floor to Jerry.
Oh, I thought you were going.
Go ahead.
So I'm sorry, Rabbi G. Susan told me this just a minute ago. You know, I was looking at Susan's list of activities for tonight, and for you it said response to blessing. And it came as no surprise to me that in addition to just responding, that you gave back a gift to all of us again. And I want to thank you for that. And I want to say to anyone who doesn't know you that that speaks to who you are and have been in our synagogue. And I know that your leaving has been painful, and I hope that you can take with you everything that people have been saying about you to know how much you have mattered to the people who are important in this synagogue, and that's all of us congregants. So thank you again for that.
And I have really appreciated and loved your energy, your openness. I can't really even look at you. It's going to make me cry. I'll look at somebody else. Your complete lack of ego in a really great way. And that doesn't mean lack of self-esteem, but lack of ego has been really appreciated. As many of you know, we called you when my mother was dying, probably a minute before she died, and on a Sunday night, and you were not expecting that at all. And you stepped in and said a beautiful prayer, and I will never, ever forget how much you meant to us in that moment. I read from your book at last Shabbat service that we led together, which I will greatly miss. And I'm just going to read one line. And you talked about how when a guest leaves your home, you're instructed to step over the threshold with her as she leaves to indicate your reluctance to see her go. I have great reluctance to see you go. And I'm metaphorically stepping over the threshold with you and want to say Lahitro.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jerry and Susan.
Okay, so I came to CBH during the pandemic, and I remember sliding into one of the Saturday Zoom services and listening very quiet while I was totally bowled over by Rabbi G and the depth of her wisdom and scholarship. I managed to sneak a comment or two in the chat, sort of, on the side, and she said nice things about it. And I was very lit up, and since then they haven't been able to stop me from talking. I was really, really excited that CBH, which had already impressed me as, this is a very nice place, everyone's kind and accepting. And it has a rabbi who is just radiant with insight and Torah, the quintessential sage of the sages Kaddish. So I was really, really excited when I found out that she was the one that I would go to formalize my path to conversion. We instantly bonded over having the same edition of the Sonsino Pentateuch. And she was wonderful in her guidance and suggestions for me. And to make a long story short, thanks to her, my big din is at the end of next month. So I couldn't be more excited and supported. So thank you so much, Rabbi G, for being the light on my road to the foot of Sinai. I can't imagine having come this far without you. And I look forward to sharing more Torah with you in the future. And I'm extremely verklempt now.
Hello, Rabbi G. I just want to share with the congregation how much you have really touched my life. when I read the appeal for Rosh Hashanah services, you were the first person who came up and hugged me. And I was really touched by that. I enjoyed your challah making class and our talks on Zoom, our talks about dogs for both the dog lovers. And one thing I really was touched with is that you came with me to the mikvah when I went and offered blessings with me. Not everybody would do that. So I was very touched that you went with me. And then we went out for coffee afterwards and just talked. And I just appreciate that so much. Also, last year I had a COVID scare, and it really scared me a lot. And you were there for me. And even though you were on vacation, you told me I could just call you if I needed you. And it just helped having that support. When the yard site of my father was last December, I was just really sad. And I remember calling you and crying, and you were just there and just comforting me. And that just goes a long way. And I just really appreciate that, because you know what it's like to lose a parent. And I just really appreciated that. And I wanted to thank you for the just everything you've done for me, just being there, your support and kindness and friendship. And I will miss that. This is not goodbye. And I know that we will stay in touch. So thank you for everything you've done for me and for everybody else. Toda Rabah, and good luck with everything you do in life. You've come a long way. And I'm just sending you a bear hug from me. Thank you so much. Ashakawa.
Lynch.
You know, I'm a member of this synagogue because it's important to be part of a Jewish community. I want to be around other Jewish people. I don't come here for the prayers. I don't come here for the davening. I wish I had $1 for everything the Torah says not to do that I've done. In fact, I wish I had $1 for every time I did it. But there's something about the Torah study that's part of finding out who you are and where you fit in the world. And that's why I do the Torah study. An Orthodox rabbi once said in a meeting we had over at Federation, not an Orthodox rabbi, a Reform rabbi, that he felt blessed not to be stuck with taking the Torah literally. So it enabled him to have a different relationship with it. And I really appreciate how you led us through that in the Torah study. I appreciate your putting up with me. I'm not always the easiest person to get. I don't talk, I interrupt. And I also just wanted to thank you for the first time we met, which I think was the hike on Arabian Mountain a year or two ago, when it was so hot and I didn't have the steam to get up to the top of the hill. And I just parked my little chair down there and waited for everybody to come back. And you were so kind and sweet about that. And it's just your humanity. That's what's, and we're going to miss that. We're going to miss you because of that. That's all I got to say. Probably didn't bring it in under 60 seconds. Tough noogies on that. Okay, bye.
Hey, Rabbi G, I'm Julie Fishman. I'm so honored to be able to say a few words. I'm one of the folks here who has a child in the community school. I have a rising sixth grader. I don't even know how that's possible. Yes, I know. I think it's because we kind of lost the last year. But wanted to say how wonderful it was to have you as a rabbinic presence in the school, the morning minions, which feels like so long ago. Before the pandemic, when we were together, just seeing you every week meant so much. Having your leadership Then, the transition that we had to do for the remainder of that year in the community school, those moments together on Zoom and kind of our early days of Zoom with the kids, just felt you brought a lot of patience and humor and compassion and wisdom into that situation when we were all going through so much adjustment. The other thing I want to say is just some of my kind of really happy memories of you are just randomly kind of bumping into each other at different events. So one of them was right before the pandemic at Plymouth Ponce, and just kind of, I don't know, we just bumped into and just started chatting. And then also at the MLK March, I just always appreciated those little kind of stolen moments together just to connect, and always felt kind of seen and heard by you. And I really, really appreciate that. And I feel that you did that both with the children and with the adults in the community school, and feel very blessed for that. So I wish you all the best. And I think now I'm passing it back over to Bill to take some more impromptu comments. But thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah, so the idea was at this point that if some of you have put things in the chat, you can continue to put things in the chat, but some people will have things to say spontaneously, and so I was going to suggest I'll drop in the chat myself the way you go about raising your hand in Zoom. There's a little reactions button down at the bottom if you haven't done that, and that puts you right up at the top of the screen, and it makes it easier to call on you, and then we can sort of just call on in turn rather than bumping into each other trying to talk. So I'll call on Jay first. You can unmute yourself. Still got Jay. We lose Jay.
I guess
we might have lost Jay for just a second, so I'll call on Julie, who's next.
Okay. Thank you all. Shabbat shalom. I'm going to try and get through this, Pamela, without crying. Rabbi G, it has not just been a pleasure working with you, but it has been an absolute gift to work with you. As everyone says, your love of Torah, your passion, your compassion, you are just such a beautiful soul, and everybody sees it. I see it. I wish you all the best moving forward, but the time we had with you was just, it was a blessing for CBH. And I just want to tell you, love you and wish you all the best.
Great. Jay, can you unmute yourself now? Still having trouble? I think Haley may. Oh, there we go.
I'm good now.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. Thanks. Well, Rabbi G, I wasn't planning on talking. I'd asked the community school and parents to see who could speak tonight. And we got a lot of responses because so many people loved having you as part of our community school. Unfortunately, it's the last weekend before school starts in DeKalb and between travels and whatnot. And Jessica was going to talk with Lucian, but I think something came up at CNN. So, but please know that at the school, we all loved having you. We loved having you as part of the Minyan, and we loved your presence and your behind the scenes help with the school. And so we're going to sorely miss you this coming school year. So I just want you to know that you were loved at the school, and sorry we couldn't have more of a presence for you.
I think Sherry might be next with Rebecca. Can you unmute? Oh, ask me. Okay, I'll do it. Okay. Does that work?
Okay, I think you can hear us now. Rabbi, I've already been crying, and we know I don't do that, but being with you touches my heart in such a way that it opens my spirit, and that's really what it's about for me and why I'm here. I could say so much about you and you being a spiritual guider for me, and ditto to what has already been said. But I'm going to talk briefly about how wonderful it was for you to be our officiant at our wedding. You were able to craft a very unusual and different same-sex wedding with beautiful Judaic traditions, and weave in my Scottish ancestry with that in such a way that it was honoring to us and to our ancestors, and I think to everyone we were privileged to have attend. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. You will always be special in that regard, and as my spiritual guidance leader. Thank you.
I can't really say anything to top that, as other than, you know, I love you and you are my friend. I am your friend. That's it.
So Paul and Tom.
Rabbi G, I think we were probably some of the last people to see you in person before COVID started, because we had started our conversion class with you at the synagogue and then kind of moved on to fitting in conference calls and Zoom chats between meetings when working from home. It's really been nice. We've had some good laughs. And there are things I'll never forget. And I still tell people, oh, this, you know, this rabbi made a comment and that. And I really appreciate when we did our conversion and the Bet Din, I know you went through a lot of hoops to get, you know, the rabbis to show up and met us at the mikvah, and made that a really good experience. It was, you know, we had some laughs and very serious moments and stuff. It was good. And we still need to make challah together. Gluten-free challah.
And I've so appreciated, after 25 years of being a practicing Jew, I can now say I'm an actual Jew and still practicing, but I can actually wear one of these now. So I appreciate you leading us through that process. I've so loved the mini yeshivas on Saturday morning. And sharing our sukkah with you on Sukkot virtually. Yeah. That was such a beautiful evening, and you found such creative ways to bring us all together when we couldn't be physically together. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.
Lawrence?
Rabbi G, I, you know, ditto to everything everybody else has said. One of the main things that stood out that lots of people have said is about your compassion, and about you followed closely by, you know, wisdom. But one of the things that really continually stuck out to me as I've taken different classes with you is how you always see everyone. Like, you make everyone feel seen. And like every class, it would be like, oh, and that can look, or, you know, it would be like, you know, oh, Rabbit, you commented on this last week, and I want to bring that point to this other thing, or, you know, just recognizing people and you know, oh, my history buff, Rebecca Grapevine, you know, like you see what people are interested in and what they're good at. And then there was like that one time you noticed, you picked up on, I don't know how, you picked up over Zoom that like something was like off with me, and you called me and checked in with me. And I didn't even realize that something was off with me until you pointed it out. And then we talked through everything, and it was like, you know, it just changed my whole trajectory. And that was really special, and that meant so much to me. And I knew that we were going to be friends the very first time that we met, which was over Zoom. When I saw on the wall behind you the USS, we've talked about Star Trek here and there, and it's funny, but it's also I knew we were gonna get along. And so, other people have also said, it's not goodbye. We're going to stay in touch. And I wore this for you. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, to quote really a famous Vulcan, I have been and shall always be your friend.
Okay.
Hey, Rabbi G, you can't see my face, but I am here due to unfortunate technical things. But I just wanted to say it's been so amazing, having your special presence at CBH and at the Sunday school. It feels like you've been here so much longer than you actually have. And part of that is because we've been on such an intense journey together. But I really feel like you've been here longer in heart than in actual time, just because of as much of yourself as you devote to people and all the love and care you show. So it's been so great. And we just really appreciate the special touch that you brought to the Sunday school this year. And we're glad that we got to experience you for as long as we did, which again, felt like a really long time because of all the heart you put in. And we just wish you the best in all your endeavors. And I'll miss seeing you on Sunday morning and chatting while we set up the chairs.
So if anybody wants to just raise their actual hand, I can see everybody's face now and to say something, or virtual hand. Otherwise, I bet she's hungry by now. She's been put off that Shabbat dinner for quite some time.
I just want to say something about you, Bill, which is you manifested this gorgeous, inspiring service and just so thoughtfully involved so many people and crafted so many elements beautifully. It was a pleasure to participate in it and to get to see you at work. Yesher koach.
Thank you. And I guess I really didn't have much of my own words to say to Rabbi G, but boy, I really enjoyed your lunch and learns, and and I love what Clarence said about people feeling seen, and you're seeing what people are good at and all that. It's a wonderful thing to have, and I really appreciate it. So thank you all. I guess.
Looks like Sharon wanted to say something.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you. As a secular Jew who came into the bat mitzvah class, or b'nai mitzvah class, thinking, well, maybe I should do this. It's about time. I'm 63. Why not? But I didn't know a lot of the teaching, and I was very grateful to have the opportunity to learn from you. You're a good teacher. You keep the class engaged always. And I can see where all the people who talk about all of your classes, I know where they're coming from. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm raising my hand. Oh, I don't need to be spotlighted. I wanted to second what Rabbi Dale said. I want to thank everyone who was here and for all of your blessings. And I especially want to thank Bill, who was behind the scenes. And I mentioned it, that he did all the arranging, including allowing me to get the last word, which I never get at home. And so I'm kidding. And Blanche, I want to thank you also for speaking up, because I've been waiting like a month and a half. When did we have that other service? And you said, oh, I don't have anything to add. So Thank you very much. But thank you, and also to Rabbi Dale, because I know that without your engineering of all of this, it also would not have happened. And it's a pleasure to have overlapped with you, and I'm really not going anywhere. So I hate Jewish goodbyes. So I want to just say Lidraot, and some of you I'll be seeing very soon. And I put in the chat, in case you all didn't see it, that it was really you, my students, who inspired me to be my best self, to be my best teacher. And by being seen by you, I was able to rise like the challah to the occasion and see all of you. So I will miss you, but it's not goodbye. It's just Lihitraot and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much.
Lihitraot.
Hey, Rabbi G, live long and prosper.
That's in the Talmud.
I know, except you have to do it like, is it like this? I don't know how to do it.
Shabbat Shalom. Clarence, I'll see you in a few weeks.
Well, I'll see you on Zoom next week.
That too.
And then I'll see you on Rabbit at the mikvah. I am so excited for this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
so thrilled. I'll get to meet like you, Blanche, and Clarence for the first time in person in the same day. I'm so excited.
Hey, I want